Right, hi guys, it's me. I am going to do another one of my book Babbles vlogs, which I meant to do a little bit more often than this during the summer, but it's been just busier and everything than I thought it would be, how summer goes. So today I was I've been like waiting too until I finish like enough books to talk about them. But then I realized I have a really bad habit of reading like halfway through a book and then starting another one that looks interesting and reading halfway through that one and then starting another one. So I end up having like, I think I've had probably like 10 books going before because it's just a really bad habit. But so I just thought I would show you all the books that I am partially way through right now. So I rounded them all up, well most of them up, and these are the ones that I am currently reading. So this one I started a few months ago and then I kind of forgot about it. But I started again recently, and it is, or I guess I have a plan to start it again today because this is really an easy book to read. I should be able to finish it pretty easily. But it's called Happiness is a Serious Problem by Prager, and he has a radio show, and he has like a happiness hour on his radio show where he shares just like thoughts on human happiness. And this book is really good. It has a lot of the same kind of things that he talks about in his happiness hour, but I will say I'm not necessarily sure I agree with everything he says about religion. In fact, I know I don't agree with everything he says about religion. But as far as happiness and human nature, he has a lot of really good insights and makes you think and kind of gives you ideas for ways that you can kind of change your thinking and be happier as a person. So it's definitely a good one to check out. I definitely recommend it, and I'm looking forward to finishing it because, like I said, he just has a lot of really good thoughts on just human nature and happiness. So I definitely recommend checking this one out. And then I started this one a couple months ago, and I've just kind of been reading a chapter here and there at night, and then kind of thinking about it and for the next day and everything. But it's really, really good. It's Successful Christian Parenting by MacArthur, and it's probably one of the best parenting books I've ever read, seriously, because it's basically just kind of talking about biblical parenting and what God expects parents to do. So it's very very helpful in a parenting sense. A lot of parenting books are based more on like the author's experiences or like psychological things, which you can definitely get good things from too, but it's a lot more subjective. This, for any Christian parents, is definitely one that you should have because it I mean, these are things that are not subjective. These are things that God asks parents to do when they're training their kids. And so it's probably a book that once I'm finished with it, I'll just start it right over again because I feel like everything in this book is things that I need to be like consistently reminded of as I'm trying to like raise our kids. So definitely want to check out if you're a parent. And then this one is Love, Skip, Jump by Shelene Bryan, which is okay. It's okay. I started a couple months as part of like a book club. I was part of a book club a couple months ago and started it then. And it's I guess the only thing I really don't like about it is that I just feel like it jumps around a lot. Like, I don't really get her train of thought per se in the book. I just feel like it's a little choppy that way, but she just tells some stories of her experiences and then pulls like points out of it like in each chapter, which is which I like. Like, it seems like she has good things to say, but like I said, it gets a little frustrating for me when I can't follow an author's train of thought. So maybe when I'm done with this book, I'll get the overarching theme or overarching point. But so far, I'm a little frustrated just because I feel like I can't tie it all together as well as I would like to for being halfway through it. So it's good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad book. It's just not like the type that I get the most out of, if that makes sense. And then I found this book in the bargain bin at my Christian bookstore, and I got it because I've heard good things. But it's Desperate Hope for the Mom Who Needs to Breathe by Sarah May and Sally Clarkson, and it's really good too. So I'm a couple chapters into this, and it's just I think it's a really good book for like moms who sometimes feel like they're like not good moms, which I think we all do on certain days. So it's been encouraging me to know that I'm not the only mom who feels like a bad mom or feels like I'm feeling sometimes. So good encouragement. Like I said, I'm only 2 chapters in, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to like most of the book. So I will update on Goodreads, and you can see what my final thoughts are on this once I finish it. And then I got this book from the library a couple months ago called Weapons of Mass Destruction by John Taylor Gatto. And it's one of those books that I started it and I read probably halfway through it the first day I started it, and so I haven't finished it just because I want to make sure I have a good chunk of time to finish it because it's one of those ones that's hard for me to put down. It's really interesting. It's written by a former school teacher, and he talks about just some of the problems that he sees with the public school system, and things that he thinks need to change and that kind of thing. So it's really, I think, interesting for me to read, since our plan is to homeschool our kids, because it's given me ideas for things that I'd like to try to do better if I can in our homeschool plan, and just kind of encouragement to that, you know, it's a good choice for a family. If that homeschooling is not an option for you and you're going to be sending your kids to public school, I think it'd probably also be good for you to read, just to kind of be aware of things that they might be training your kids in, and how to like fill in some of the gaps and things like that. But just be aware that it, like, when I read it, it makes me want to like never send my kids to public school, which I will never say never, because, you know, things happen, and that might happen in the future. I don't know, because I can't see the future, but our plan is to homeschool, so it may be discouraging for those of you whose plan is to send your kids to public school, but I think it might also be helpful just to kind of, I don't know, be aware of some things that like a public school teacher has to say. So so that was really interesting. And then Leigh in Carolina by Tamara Leigh. This is the only fiction book that I'm reading at the moment. I haven't been that much in the mood for fiction the last couple weeks, but I kind of started this one. I'm like a couple chapters in. I've read a couple of her other books, and she's just really, like, her writing is really funny because her characters are really colorful and eccentric, and she just writes kind of like about like not like crazy situations or anything, but just the way she describes everything. I don't know, I just really enjoy it. It's like, I guess I just say her writing is really colorful. So that's just been really interesting. And I'm already like, I'm 3 or 4 chapters in, and already like it hasn't been disappointing as far as colorful characters. So I am looking forward to finishing this. I think it's going to be good, because I always think, I mean, her books are just interesting to read to me because I just like crazy characters like that sometimes. So I will, like I said, I'll post my final thoughts on this on Goodreads too once I'm done with it. So you can follow me on there to get all my thoughts on all these books once I finish them, which will hopefully not be too long because I'm going to try not to drag them all out that far anymore. But that is it. Those are all the books that I've been reading lately, and aside from other books that I'm reviewing on the blog separately, but I thought it'd be a little bit redundant to mention all those here too. So these are the books I'm currently reading, and you can follow me on Goodreads to see my thoughts on them. And I'd like to hear if you are like me and read halfway through books and then start another one and then halfway through that one, or if you're more, you know, you finish one book and then start another one. Because I used to be that way when I was younger, but I'm not sure what changed. But now I just end up reading like 10 books at once. So I'd like to hear what you do and how you end up reading books. And I guess that's it.